Hey everybody, hope you're doing well today. Got a question for you. Maybe it's one that you probably have never thought of, or I bet you haven't thought of this in a long time, if ever. Are you meek? M-E-E-K, meek. It's a word in the Bible. Do you know what it means to be meek? Well, welcome to the Turn It Up Marriage Tips and Tools Show. Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm a pastor, police chaplain, marriage coach, and author of this book, Turn It Up, How to Have the Lifelong Marriage That You Really Want. Well, in this episode, we're going to be talking about a hidden marriage tip from Jesus. If you've been following along with us, you know that Jesus gave us a lot of marriage tips in his teaching. Some of them are direct, while others are more indirect. In two prior recordings on this series, we looked at the two of the statements in Matthew chapter 5, where it is the blessed are statements, or some call that the Beatitudes. So we looked at blessed are the poor in spirit and blessed are those that mourn. Today, we're going to see the hidden tip in the next of these statements. It's Matthew 5, verse 5, which says, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." Now, I think this is possibly one of the most misunderstood statements of Jesus today, because we don't know the word, we don't know the meaning of the word meek. In fact, when I started this video and said, "Are you meek?" I bet you probably thought to yourself, I hope not. I don't want to be meek. That's because many of us think that meek means weak. I don't want to be a weakling. I don't want to be a yes man. I don't want to be someone who has no backbone or doesn't set boundaries or is just basically a doormat that lets people walk all over him. But a better translation of the word meek is the word gentle or humble. You see, it is a strong word. When you know you are strong, you don't brag about it. You have a confidence that sets boundaries and enforces them. Because you're strong, you can then love people with gentleness and mercy, and you can give grace, and you're not proud and you're not arrogant. And I was thinking about this, and I realized that as a police chaplain, I have gotten to know some extremely strong men and women who serve in our police department, and they are absolutely meek. They're humble. They're gentle. They focus on serving others and protecting the innocent, and they have a quiet strength that is both admirable and attractive. And if needed, they know how to use force in order to protect others. But they don't brag about it. They don't go around pushing people around. They don't have an insecurity complex. In fact, what they are, their meekness is strength under control. Maybe the best way to understand the word meek is to look at its opposite. So someone who is gentle or humble isn't proud or harsh or rude or stubborn or opinionated or judgmental or focused on themselves. In fact, reminds me of another Bible verse written by James, the brother of Jesus, who wrote in the book of James, this is James 1:19, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." This is someone who is meek or gentle or humble. Let me read it to you again. Quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Well, what does this have to do with marriage? How is this a marriage tip? Well, it has a lot to do with marriage, actually. You see, a lot of couples that I marriage coach with say that they're having trouble communicating. Well, really, it's not communication isn't really their problem. The problem is that they're not listening. And because of that, they don't understand each other. And then they react and say things that make their conversations turn into arguments. So the hidden marriage tip from Jesus is blessed are the gentle or humble. So gentle or humble means they're quick to listen, which means that they are going to focus on understanding instead of replying. They're also slow to speak. This means that they think about how to respond instead of react. And then they're slow to become angry. If your spouse is mad, or I should say, if their spouse is mad at them, they don't get defensive and go on the attack. Instead, what they focus on is learning how to understand. What did I do? How can I make this right? What do I need to do to apologize? How can I change? Why? Because I'm strong and I love my wife or my husband and I want to support them. If there's something that I've done that has made them angry at me, I want to make it right. So they apologize. But before they apologize, they focus on understanding what it is that they did and making sure that their spouse feels understood. Now, if they get mad, if someone who is meek gets mad at their spouse because he or she either said or did something that hurt them, what is that meek person going to do? They're going to calm down first. They're not going to explode with anger, but they're going to calm down and then confront the person in a loving way. They're going to talk about what they did and how it made them feel, and then they're going to give that person, their spouse, an opportunity to apologize and then change. So being gentle, being meek, is all about listening, understanding. Being slow to speak means you're not just going to react to every little thing, but you're also going to be slow to anger. Being meek or gentle also includes being thoughtful, I think, considerate and sensitive to the needs of your spouse. It's about having a giving attitude, not just one of taking. It's focusing your attention and making your marriage your priority, focusing on your spouse and meeting their needs before you seek to have your own needs met. So that's a great marriage tip. Let's be gentle. Let's be humble. Let's be meek. And here's what Jesus says when you are humble or meek or gentle. He says, you will inherit the earth. Well, what does it mean to inherit? To inherit something means to take possession of it. When you're gentle with your spouse and your family, when you're meek, out of strength, not going to let them walk all over you. That's not what I'm talking about. But when you're meek and gentle or humble, you know what's going to happen? You're going to have a peaceful, loving, and joyful family. That, my friends, is a blessing. And Jesus said, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." So I'd love to hear from you what you think about this marriage tip from Jesus. So send me a direct message, comment below, whatever the platform is that you're getting to see this. Reply if you're getting it in an email on my newsletter. Also, if you'd like some help putting this into practice in your marriage, go to my website, which is turnitup.coach. You can get a copy of my book and you can schedule a free call with me. I call this a clarity call. A lot of people are so confused. They know that their marriage is struggling. They know they need some help and they need some clarity about what to do first. So that's why I call these calls a clarity call. So here's what we're going to do. 30 to 60 minutes, whatever time you need, but about, around a half an hour to an hour, something like that is what I've allotted. And what we're going to do is look at what's working in your marriage, where you want to be and how to get there. And at the end of the call, you will have a 3-step roadmap of what to do now in order to get your marriage back on track so that you can have the lifelong marriage that you really want. So anyways, that's my marriage tip for today, a hidden marriage tip from Jesus. I hope you enjoyed it. Please check out the rest of the recordings that I have either on podcast or on YouTube. And then I just pray that you would be blessed today, that God would bless you, and that God would bless your marriage. That's it for now. Bye-bye.